It's our Week 14 NFL preview with the Steelers and Ravens, the Cowboys and Lions, and more. Welcome to the FTN Fantasy Schatz and Tanier NFL podcast for December 4th, 2025. Hey, I'm Aaron Schatz. I'm the DVOA guy from FTN Fantasy. He's Mike Tanier. You know him from his Substack at miketanier.substack.com. It's called The Too Deep Zone. We have some good games this week, especially, by the way, good games in the island times when they're national, and then some good 1 o'clock games, and we'll get to those in just a second. The show is brought to you by Underdog. If you want a free month of the FTN GOAT subscription, we have great news because we have worked with Underdog to hook you up. For a limited time, when you sign up on Underdog using our link, which is FTN, and play your first $5, you get $100 in bonus bets plus a free month of the FTN GOAT subscription on us. That's all the award-winning FTN fantasy projections, all of the betting advice, all of the DVOA stats with all of the charting available at the FTN Stats Hub. You get all of it. Remember, sign up on Underdog, $5, your first $5. Our marketing team will be on the lookout to hook you up with a code for a free month of the GOAT subscription. Promo code FTN on Underdog. Terms apply. Let's start out with Thursday night. That's tonight, and a really good game, which is essentially a must-have for the playoffs. The Cowboys are 6-5-1. They are at the Lions, who are 7-5. Lions make the playoffs 59% with a win, only 20% with a loss.
Wow. Only 59% with a win.
They're up to 42% with a win, 9% with a loss.
Yeah. Can't believe it's 59%, man. Can't believe it's 59% with a win for the Lions.
Yeah, I mean, the NFC is hardcore this year, man. This is a really good. There's, with the Panthers having a winning record, and then the Cowboys and the Lions are on, looking out right now, and there's a lot of injuries going on in this game, right?
Oh, gosh, so many injuries, mostly on the Lions side of the ball. Let me just hit the highlights. Amon-Ra is a game-time decision. Don't make any wagers until you know what Amon-Ra is doing. Khalif Raymond, who would have a bigger impact if Amon-Ra is out, he is out. We all know Sam Laporta's on IR. Brock Wright and Shane Zylstra, the other tight ends, are out. It's probably going to be former 49er Ross Dwelly playing tight end tonight. Kirby Joseph's still not back. Terrion Arnold is on IR. And while all the guys on the offensive line are probably playing, Penei Sewell, Taylor Decker, Graham Glasgow, were all on the injury report this week, and they've been playing hurt for weeks, and it shows.
Yeah, Arnold is out for the season, and the Lions were already 26th against number one wide receivers. DJ Reed is back the last couple weeks, so that's good. But, yeah, Arnold is done for the year. A Cowboys defensive DVOA, 19.3% before the bye week. Remember, higher is bad.
Bad, yes.
0% since the bye week. Average.
Right.
So the last 3 weeks have been good for them.
They have an average defense now. Great defensive front, and
that great defensive front, right? The Jared Goff, no quarterback in the league consistently has a bigger difference between pressure and no pressure than Goff. And here they come with that interior defensive line featuring Williams Quinnen Williams up against the problematic Lions interior that is not going to have Frank Ragnow because he is not walking through that door. That is a problem.
That is a big problem, and the Cowboys have been getting some success from Dante Fowler on the edge. Clowney is a game-time decision. He's been playing okay, but it really is that they can rotate these three really good defensive tackles, put some of them on edge, do five-man fronts, do things like that. It's going to pressure the Lions all night.
I'm also going to point out Jared Goff, number one in the league in DVOA against man coverage, 13th against zone coverage. Who's their best receiver at getting open against zone coverage?
Would that be Amon-Ra St. Brown?
I believe that's Amon-Ra St. Brown. And what do the Cowboys use more than almost any other defense in the league?
Do they use man coverage? No, zone coverage.
No, it's zone coverage, yeah. Zone coverage. So it's really not, this does not seem like a good, here's another, let's flip it around to the other side. The Lions play more one high than any team except the Browns.
Okay.
And Dak Prescott averages 7.6 yards per pass against one high compared to 5.9 against two high.
Cowboys have a lot of solutions.
This is not a good matchup for the Lions. This is just not. It's not. Iceman 6872. Cowboys trades are perfect to attack the Lions' weakness on the interior line. Like when you add that to this sort of coverage stuff, it's just really not a good matchup for the Lions. Like despite the problems that the Cowboys have on defense, this is not a good matchup for the Lions at all.
No, they're going to be relying on Gibbs and Williams and trying to get the ball to them as much as possible, try to get the ball on them in the perimeter. I don't know if that's going to be enough when you have like nothing that you can count on in the middle of the field.
Yeah, and I think they're going to have trouble covering Pickens and Lamb.
Right. Oh, absolutely.
And so the line on this game is Lions -3. And the system picks the Lions, and they're at home.
Yes.
But when I look at the matchups in this game, I'm going Cowboys.
If I had 4, I'd take the Cowboys. There's something. Obviously, there's something about the Cowboys that makes them hard to trust, even despite all this. I probably would lean Cowboys though. Over under is 54.5. Do we have a pick there?
No.
I might go over. I'll go first half over and see how I feel after that.
All right, let's move to Sunday.
Yes.
Where there's some really good games at 1:00. The one that I think is going to most of the country is the most important game of the season so far for the playoff odds. And that is the 6-6 Steelers at the 6-6 Ravens, because nobody is winning a wild card in the AFC North. So Steelers make the playoffs 75% with a win, 23 with a loss. Ravens make the playoffs 70% with a win, 21 with a loss.
Yeah. It's almost a win and in, except they play each other again. So it's kind of like.
And I did run the odds. What if they split? If they split, we end up with the Ravens at 48 and the Steelers at 42, and the Bengals at 10. Bengals fans should root for a split.
I thought you were going to say you ran it if they tied. I was waiting to hear the tie.
No. Unfortunately, the simulator doesn't run ties. I was curious. Andrew Daly says, how hurt is Lamar and how many goofball turnovers can the Ravens make in 2 weeks? The goofball turnovers are not going to happen. You're not going to have the ball slip out of Lamar's hand in 2 straight games. But I went back and watched the Thanksgiving night game where I had missed the first half because I was in the car driving home. And I felt like running, he didn't look that injured, but it's clearly affecting his mechanics.
Yeah.
So he's inaccurate. That's the bigger problem for the Ravens.
Yeah, he looked discombobulated. And since you saw that first half, it was full of WTF moments. Like WTF just happened here. And it looked like the Ravens, if you count penalty plays that were negated, were outplaying the Bengals.
But it's not, the ball's not going to slip from his hands very often. And it's not his fault that likely fumbled the ball over the goal line. And they were in that game in the first half. And then in the second half, it just all fell apart.
It's sort of buckled on them. Weather should be fine, by the way. As for Lamar, he was limited in practice on Wednesday. That's good news because he's missed practice on Wednesday for several weeks in a row. Officially, he has knee, ankle, and toe injuries. That covers pretty much the whole leg. So that's how they're defining it. By the way, Aaron Rodgers was a DNP. TJ Watt with a toe injury popped up with a DNP. Watt, by the way, has not been having a very good year. But, of course, we won't know anything about Aaron Rodgers until Ian Rappaport gets his press release from Aaron Rodgers and tells us what's going on.
By what standards? Like, he's still pretty good, but, I mean, he's not, like, for example, he's not having the years that Garrett and Parsons are having, certainly.
Right. He's not having that elite year. They've had other pass rushers, of course, Herbig and Highsmith, who's been hurt, but they've been doing well. Watt hasn't been having a Watt year.
The Ravens' defense is 29th against shorter passes. Rodgers, of course, throws short passes 86% of the time, which is pretty much more than any other quarterback in the league. They're 24th since the Gilbin trade, but that did not improve them against short passes as much as you might think. An interesting strength-on-strength matchup is the Steelers are much better ranked running, and the Ravens are better ranked on run defense, but the Steelers are better running outside, and the Ravens are better at stopping runs on the inside.
Interesting. And the Steelers do all this 3 tight end extra lineman stuff to get the ball to the outside. Here's you were talking about the short passing. The Steelers' average depth of throw this year is 5.7 yards. I went through the Sports Info Solutions database 10 years. I'd never found a team number under 6. So this is the most short passing offense we've seen in
it's really just snap, short pass, bang. Snap, short pass, bang. No time to throw, just snap, short pass, bang.
Right.
And runs.
Right. And they did it with Rudolph too, by the way. When he was out there, they didn't change things much.
When you flip it around, the Steelers are 5th against short passes, but 23rd against deep passes.
Wow.
And Lamar throws deep passes 23% of the time, which is above average.
Okay.
And the Steelers are 26th against 12 personnel.
Yeah.
And the Ravens love the 12 personnel.
Yeah, I mean, that's what the Bills did to them late in the game. They just went 12 and started.
Not only can you then stuff Derrick Henry down their throats, but you've got 2 good receiving tight ends, and the linebackers are a problem. Inside linebackers are a problem for the Steelers.
Right. I do not like this matchup for the Steelers, especially the way they're playing.
The line is Ravens -6.
But I don't like the Ravens 6 points.
Yeah, I like Steelers +6 just because the Steelers are a little higher in DVOA, although that's partly because the games Lamar Jackson didn't play. But Lamar is a little hurt, and this tends to be a very close. These games are all close between the Steelers and the Ravens. So I do like Steelers +6. I would favor the Ravens to win. Fraser Lamont wants to know, where does the Ravens offense with just Lamar Jackson ranks by DVOA? Okay. They're 17th with the backup quarterback. They're probably about 10th if you take out the backup quarterback games, but on a downswing. They've been below average the last 3 weeks. So Jackson is clearly hurt.
Right. Weather will be fine, by the way. Nothing to report on the weather report. You're right. I mean, I'd tease it. If I wanted the Ravens, I want to tease it almost to like 2.5 or maybe 3 or something like that. But as it stands now, this looks like one of those 23-20 games between these teams.
It does. It really does.
Yeah. Right. And I would favor the Ravens to win, but the Steelers to cover.
You said weather will not be a big issue. A game where the weather may be an issue is the 4-8 Bengals at the 8-4 Bills, where I believe it is expected to be 23 degrees with a slight chance of snow.
That's about it. You're stealing my thunder with the weather report, Aaron. But yes, snow showers are expected during the day. They might be later. There's also snow showers in the forecast for Saturday. And yes, seasonably cold in Buffalo, which means cold.
Bengals make the playoffs 15% with a win, 3% with a loss. Bills 97 with a win, 79 with a loss.
Wow.
So, I mean, they're still probably in either way, but they do not want to lose this game. It's a hard one for me to sit here and give you stats about because Burrow has only played a couple games. So the Bengals offensive stats are not useful.
Right.
And the Bengals defense is basically bad at everything. So it's hard for me to sit here and be like, here's the interesting thing they're not bad at. They're top 10 against number 1 and 2 wide receivers.
Really?
They're horrific against depth receivers, tight ends, and running backs. Tight ends in particular, 94 yards a game. But Dalton Kincaid has been limited. And this is another one where you're going to read the injury report, and the injury report is going to play a role.
Yes. Briefly for the Bengals, T. Higgins was limited. He is not officially through concussion protocol, but he's practicing, which means he might be there Sunday. Trey Hendrickson's doubtful. I don't think we're going to see him again. For the Bills, all kinds of things here. Joey Bosa, hammy, essentially out, though that's not official. Terrell Bernard at linebacker, doubtful. Joshua Palmer, elbow injury, very pessimistic conversation about his health right now. Kincaid was limited. Both offensive tackles, Deion Dawkins and Spencer Brown, who missed last week, were limited in practice. Check their availability. Obviously, it's a big difference. Cold game, bad defense that can't tackle. You kind of want your offensive line, and you want Kincaid out there.
Yeah, but the running is really interesting here because of the weather and because, the Bills are currently second running, but 11th passing. Okay. And the Bengals are bad at everything. So that doesn't
bad at everything, right.
Flip it around. The Bengals are 6th rushing DVOA.
Wow.
The Bills are 30th on run defense. Will the Bengals go less shotgun than usual and stuff it down the Bills' throat?
it seems so out of character for them to try. And yet we've seen the Bills run defense. And Chase Brown's a pretty good back. And interesting.
Matthew Carley says, I cannot get a handle on the Bills this year. They don't seem as scary. Is there a scary team in the AFC outside of Denver and Roll of Thunder, the Chiefs? Look, everybody has problems this year. Everybody in the league has – the only team in the league that doesn't have clear issues lost last week, which is the Rams, right? The Seahawks are number 1 in DVOA, but none of us trust Sam Darnold. The Colts are third, but their offense has clearly fallen apart over the last few weeks. And then you get down into more, you're like, the Lions have all these injuries, and the Chiefs have these certain problems. They can't get guys open, and the Eagles, and like the Bills. And there's this is a very topsy-turvy year with no clear favorite. Even though our stats like the Rams and Seahawks better than the market, I'm generally in agreement with the market. It's a very topsy-turvy a year where there's no specific team that is the team that is dangerous and anybody can win, and the Bills could win, but the Bills do not look as good as past years. Allen does not look as good as past years.
Allen does not look good, particularly throwing the ball. We have, of course, the Patriots and Bears, who are two different flavors of house money teams where it looks like it's mostly schedule. And if you look at the Rams, I'm not denigrating the Rams or downplaying them, and we shouldn't be talking about them much, but they have the highest penalty differential in the NFL, and they've had the best per SIS injury luck in the NFL.
Yes, and Stafford also has a number of interception-worthy throws that did. He's had good luck on interceptions. I will say this about the Patriots and Bears, that obviously my ratings are down on them. And if you look at Sam Hoppin's tweet that he does with everybody's advanced ratings, all the advanced ratings are down on the Patriots and Bears, except for Kevin Cole. Kevin Cole really likes the Patriots. They're both on the upswing.
Right. And we got the Bears.
Both the Patriots and Bears had their second best game of the year last week. So you can, and they are younger teams. So you can say definitely that those teams, despite the easy schedules, are on the upswing. So that is just another thing that contributes to the idea that any team can do it this year.
Absolutely. Bills.
What do you think? The line is Bills minus 5.5. And I really like under 52.5 because of the weather.
I like under 52.5 because of the cold. These aren't the kind of teams where I would do the chaos over because the quarterbacks know what they're doing. They're not going to go out there in the snow and mess things up. I would probably take Bills if I got good, optimistic Kincaid and either of the tackle information. And if it comes towards the game and it looks like the Bills are working with 3/5 of their offensive line, no Kincaid, no Palmer, I'd probably take it off the board.
I think you're about right there. I would say that the system slightly likes the Bengals.
Okay.
Plus 5.5, but it's very slight.
Right. And it's trying to work off of all the Flacco games and everything too, right? It's got
no, that's based on just Burrow.
Oh, okay.
All right, let's talk about one more 1 p.m. game, and that is the 8-4 Colts at the 8-4 Jaguars. Colts make the playoffs 92% with a win and 63% with a loss. Jaguars 97 with a win and 71 with a loss. We need to accept that the AFC South is going to get two teams into the playoffs.
I refuse to accept it. You're right, of course. I just refuse to accept it.
Colts are number 1 running, but the Jaguars are number 9 in run defense. I don't think people realize how good the Jaguars defense has been this year, despite the fact that they don't have that much of a pass rush, especially, by the way, outside of the two edge rushers, Walker and Hines Allen. They have no pass rush.
Right.
They are 10th in defensive DVOA this year. They have more cornerback depth than you think. They are 4th against wide receiver 2s and 1st against other wide receivers.
Interesting. And they've had in and out of the lineup, Trayvon Walker in and out of the lineup, probably not playing this week. Eric Armstead is back at practice. He missed a week or two. So I think their pass rush waxes and wanes when they've got the 3 guys, Hines, Allen, Armstead, and Walker, it's one thing. If they don't, it's very much another thing. One other big Jaguars injury, Parker Washington, DMP. And don't chuckle at Parker Washington because he's not only been doing all the stuff that they expected Travis Hunter to do and all the screen stuff, but he's been a big impact guy as a return man. So
yes, Parker Washington. People after Marcus Jones had the touchdown for the Patriots were like, Marcus Jones, all-pro punt returner. And I was like, whoa, slow down. He has 2, but guess who else has 2? Chimere Dike.
Yes, he's been great. Yes.
And Parker Washington has 2. I still think Marcus Jones is the best of the 3, but they all have 2 touchdowns.
They all have 2 touchdowns.
Andrew Daly says the Colts have not run well since Berlin.
Right.
And it's true. Their running has not been, even though they're still number 1 in DVOA, has not been as good in the last few games. And as Operatic says, nothing improves a pass rush like a quarterback with a broken leg. And there is absolutely, Jones has less mobility than he usually has. He's not scrambling as much as normal.
That's right. In fact, I checked to look through the stats, and Dimes usually makes about 4 passes outside the pocket per game, whether he's rolling out by design or he gets outside because he can move pretty well. Had 0 throws at all outside the pocket against the Texans. That indicates his lack of mobility.
Jones, by the way, is 3rd in DVOA against zone, but 15th versus man.
Okay.
The Jaguars play 75% zone, which is 8th in the NFL. So they play a lot of zone, and he is very good this year against zone. He has guys who get open in zones.
Interesting.
Plus Alec Pierce. Alec Pierce is the deep guy. Pittman and Downs are the get the open in zones, and Warren, right? They're the get open in zones guy. Pierce is the get the deep guy.
Get the deep, and then Warren works underneath and all.
Both teams also really good on special teams. We talked about Parker Washington.
Yes.
They're 3rd and 6th in special teams.
Yeah.
The line is Colts -1.5. The game is in Jacksonville.
My level of Jacksonville distrust is just too high. A little bit of a Colts right.
It's higher than your distrust in Daniel Jones's fibula.
It's really tough, especially again. Sauce is not there, but then there's no receivers.
Sauce wasn't there most of the season, though. So we're looking at the stats for the Colts, and most of the season it doesn't have Sauce. So.
Right, and neither was Shavaris Ward, and at least he's back, so they've got something back there. I'm leaning Colts on this one because I think we're due for one of those bizarre Trevor Lawrence offense dysfunctional weeks from the Jaguars.
Todd Stinger points out that the Colts never win in Jacksonville, and that is true. The Colts have not won in Jacksonville since 2014, I believe.
They're due.
It is funny because if the Colts win, DVOA looks good, and if the Jaguars win, my preseason predictions look good.
Mm-hmm.
I would probably lean a little bit Colts also.
Right.
But I don't know how much to trust the fibula.
Right. I feel like there's a consistency to what the Colts do, even when they're tailing off. Like, I kind of know what I'm getting. You don't know what you're getting when you watch a Jacksonville Jaguars game.
No, that's pretty true. Let's talk about the 4 p.m. game. 9-3 Bears at the 8-3-1 Packers. Bears make the playoffs 91 with a win, 63 with a loss.
Wow.
Packers make it 96 with a win, 75 with a loss. Obviously, a lot of the attention here is going to be on the Bears' running game.
Yes.
The Bears are 4th running. The Packers are 14th in run defense DVOA, but it's interesting how that's shaped. The Packers are 5th in adjusted line yards, but they allow a lot of short yardage success.
Interesting.
So when it comes to your regular runs, they're very good. They're average against inside zone, and they're 5th against outside zone. The Bears run a lot of both inside zone and outside zone runs.
Yeah, and a lot of counters and things like that too. By the way, Devontae Wyatt's out. That's a possible problem for the Packers defense.
Yes. If you want to talk about that inside zone runs, yes. By the way, here's another fun stat. The Packers become the best offense in the league when you get to the 4th quarter, and the Bears become the 5th best offense in the league when you get to the 4th quarter. So if you believe in quarter-by-quarter splits, this game does not end.
That's a good example, folks who remembered watching the Eagles Bears game. It was 10-9 entering the 4th quarter. It's not like the Bears, even though they were running the ball extremely well, their passing game was not accomplishing anything. It was a net negative until the 4th quarter, and then everything sort of coalesced when they had the opportunity.
Andrew Daly wants to know if Jordan Love has turnover-worthy throws like Stafford, and the answer is I don't know. But I don't think so, but I don't know.
I think he had a bunch early in the year, and everything's kind of settled down lately.
Love is very good in EPA type stats per play. EPA better than Stafford in EPA per play type stats. Stafford is better in DVOA. Love is definitely, if the Packers win the division, Love should be an MVP candidate, but I don't think he's going to. There's no storyline there.
Right, there's no storyline. There's a perception around it, especially when you realize how many of his playmakers have been out. Quick note on that. There were 18 players on the Packers injury report, but it wasn't as bad as all that. Most were limited. Keep your eye out for both Jaden Reed and Matthew Golden. They have been practicing. They could be back. It's been weeks since Reed's out there. He gives you the screen, yak, slot element that Love hasn't had in several weeks.
Fraser Lamont wants to know, are the Bears also higher on offense in the first quarter compared to second and third? I don't think so. If I remember correctly from doing the research for the podcast, they are not.
Interesting. Yeah, they seem like they are good on the script, though. Like
Jordan Love is one of the top deep throwers, and the Bears are 22nd against deep passes. Tyreek Stevenson was really good the first few weeks of the season. He has not been the last few weeks, but they have Jalen Johnson back now, who is one of the most consistently good cornerbacks in the league.
Yes, he's back. Kyler Gordon is also back in the slot, which is going to help there. Got to get my weather report in Green Bay. High temperature is going to be around 20 degrees. Low temperature, and it's a late afternoon game, is around 4.
Yeah. It's a night. I mean, it's basically, by the time you get to this point of the year, that's a night game. Late afternoon game means a night game.
Night game. So you're going to be single digit or low double digit temperatures, going to impact deep passing. We're going to see how Caleb Williams responds to that. Jordan Love has some experience at it.
So much here is the Bears run game.
Yeah.
Can the Bears running game be as good as it's been the last few weeks? Can the Packers run defense without Wyatt stand in the way of that running game? I think that's a lot of what's going on here. The system has no pick. The line is Packers minus 6.5. Clearly, Vegas agrees with DVOA that the Bears are not as good as their record.
Yes. And I watch Caleb Williams play quarterback when he has to make throws, and I'm going with the Packers.
Yeah, I mean, I would say the Packers to win. I with this line, I don't know which. I don't know. I would stay away from the line. I think the line is pretty. I think the system is pretty accurate, which is that the line is pretty accurate.
Yeah, the line is accurate. I'd probably lean Packers. I don't know if the cold weather would make me worry about a lower scoring game or not.
Yeah, Jalen Johnson, Matthew Carley points out, Jalen Johnson was the Bears' best player last year, and he really should help, especially when they do look to play a lot of man coverage. I talk a lot about how cornerback coverage DVOA is very inconsistent from year to year. In fact, every method, if you look at PFF grades.
Oh, yeah.
Right. I'm not the biggest fan of PFF grades, but when you look at the year-to-year consistency of PFF grades, what is the least consistent position? It's cornerback.
Cornerback. Almost as if when you're a great cornerback, you are then forced to cover Justin Jefferson one week and Jamar Chase the next week, et cetera, et cetera. So then you give up more completions, and then it creates this imbalance, whereas the nitwit is out there covering the fourth.
Right, but the DVOA tries to adjust for that, and still is really inconsistent. So, but Jalen Johnson has been very consistent. He's been very consistently good, so that's really good.
Right.
Let's talk about the 8 p.m. game. This one is really needed for the playoffs. Texans 7-5 at the 6-6 Chiefs. Now, I'm sort of surprised by how high the Texans make the playoffs if they lose. It's 82% if they win, but 39% if they lose.
Yeah, that sounds right.
The Chiefs, 62 if they win, 13 if they lose.
That's it.
They need it.
The dagger is the wooden stake is hovering over the coffin here.
And hit us with those injuries, because the Chiefs' offensive line is a wreck, and this is not the defense that you want that to be the case.
Yeah, the latest we have, Josh Simmons almost definitely out at left tackle, which probably means Jalen Moore in.
I believe he's been put on IR.
Oh,
I think he's definitely out. I think he's on IR now.
Okay, I missed that. As of this morning, it wasn't that. Trey Smith almost certainly out. Per Matt Verderame, a friend of the show, Juwan Taylor elbow could play, which means he'd be out there at right tackle with one bad arm, which doesn't sound ideal. If not him, then it's Wanya Morris, which is less than ideal. Quickly on the other side of the ball, though, Will Anderson, Kamari Lassiter, and Woody Marks did all show up on the injury report on Wednesday, but D'Amico Ryans downplayed them all, saying, quote, they'll all be fine. Let's see how this week goes. So I don't think we're going to be without those guys on the Houston side of the ball.
And Lassiter is particularly important.
Yes.
Because you want to play man against the Chiefs.
Yes.
When you play man, it's the Rashee Rice show. When you play zone, it's Patrick Mahomes goes ham and throws to everybody.
Right. And one team that can just, if Lassiter's healthy and Stingley's healthy and they've got depth, the one team that can just match up man to man with no matter what you throw at them really is the Houston Texans.
They are first in pass defense and fifth in run defense. So you do, maybe want to run a little bit more against them. When you flip it around, the Texans are really going to struggle to run. They are 28th running the ball. Kansas City is 10th in run defense. Mm-hmm. Also, Stroud has a minus 28% DVOA on deep passes. Mm-hmm. The only other qualifying quarterback who has a negative DVOA on deep passes is Geno Smith.
Oh, gosh.
So you can bring your guys up to stop the run, but you don't have to fear the deep that much.
There really is no...
if you feel that somebody can cover Nico Collins.
Yeah, there really is no deep threat. I mean, Nico can be a deep threat, but he's an intermediate threat there. And, of course, we are looking at a small sample for Stroud, and we're also looking at the fact that his pass protection is not reliable, so he doesn't get a lot of opportunities to get a nice clear shot downfield.
Here's another fun, interesting split. The Texans' offense gets better, not better really, but better compared to the rest of the league as third down becomes longer.
Oh, gosh. Okay.
The Kansas City defense gets better as third down becomes shorter.
They don't want third and medium.
What that means is, everybody wants third and long because third and long is better. But compared to the rest of the league, they're 31st on third and long. The blitz is not working for Kansas City this year. The Spags is not in his bag this year. Right. So what that means is it doesn't quite matter what Houston gets on first and second. They're still possibly could make third happen. Even if it's third and long, they're good on third and long. It's the one thing they're good at. And the Chiefs defense is bad on third and long.
I don't want to blitz CJ Stroud. I want to rush him with 4. You can probably get pressure with your 4 against his line. But if you blitz him, you are creating these opportunities. He can very quickly identify and get these passes, intermediate passes, out to guys like Collins, Higgins, who's been having a good season now. Kirk is back and he's doing something. So I wouldn't blitz Stroud. I would say get out there and execute, and we're going to make the windows as tight as possible for you.
Andrew Daly wants to know, has any quarterback ever had as good a rookie year as Stroud and then never improved? Jaden Daniels pending. And obviously Robert Griffin is an answer because of injuries.
Right.
No, for the most part, I think quarterbacks, what did Stroud was the 4th best by DYAR ever? For him to have never improved would be shocking. But obviously it's not just about him. Some of it is he doesn't seem to overcome the problems. It's not like the Texans had a great offensive line when he was a rookie.
No.
But he's obviously the team is having problems around him.
He's recognizably the guy when you watch him and you realize, okay, there are like you said, these difficulties around him. And again, when the rookie year is that good, when you're starting with this pinnacle year, you'll probably have some wobble in the career.
But you do still expect. Prescott did have better year. He's the best rookie quarterback ever by my numbers.
Okay.
But he has had better years than that. And Wilson was really great, has had better years than that. Roethlisberger did have better years. Marino obviously was even better.
Right. It's just at year 3, you're like, well, he hasn't had that better year yet. It's he had injuries this year and the line fell apart last year and they made the playoffs and won a playoff game last year. So it's not like he had the RG3 season or whatever. So there's a little bit of volatility you have to accept.
I agree. That is true. The line is Chiefs minus 3.5.
I ain't taking the Chiefs minus 3.5.
I would say I would take the Texans plus 3.5 because of the injuries that the Chiefs have on their offensive line.
And that's it, man. That's it. That could be the dagger.
And that could be the dagger to the entire Chiefs season if they do lose this game.
Right. The world turned upside down.
It's been a weird year. it's been a topsy-turvy year, and that will be the most topsy-turvy if the Chiefs miss the playoffs. Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right. That does it for the show, folks. He's Mike Tanier. Again, MikeTanier.substack.com. I am Aaron Schatz. We will be back on Monday at 11 a.m. Eastern to review all of these games and preview Monday Night Football, which is Chargers-Eagles, I believe.
It is Eagles at Chargers, a home game.
Yeah, another good one in the island, another good island game this week. All right, that does it, folks. We'll talk to you on Monday. So long.